Welcome to Dott TV Midday News. I am Ifi Arono. We start on a sad note and from the court, the Delta State High Court, sitting in Ogwashuku and Nyocha South local government area, has sentenced 2 men to death by hanging for the kidnapping and murder of Miss Elozino Joshualia Ogege, a 300-level mass communication student of the Delta State University, Abraka, bringing to a close a 9-year legal battle over one of the state's most notorious murder cases. Justice Flora Ngozi Azinge, who delivered judgment on Wednesday, convicted Macaulay Desmond Ogenemaru and Enaike Onoriode on charges of conspiracy to commit kidnapping, conspiracy to commit murder, and murder. The court, however, discharged and acquitted the third defendant, Mosisi Benedict Uche, after finding insufficient evidence to sustain the charges against them. Ogege, an indigene of Isoko, Delta State, was gruesomely murdered in 2019 after reportedly leaving to meet an agent who had offered to help her secure accommodation within the Delsu community in Abraka. Her death sparked widespread outrage after reports alleged that part of her body, including her eyes, breast, and heart, had been removed in what investigators linked to a ritual killing involving suspected internet fraudsters, popularly known as Yahoo Plus operators. Meanwhile, Delta State Local Government Joint Account Committee JAC approved Governor Sheriff Oborore's decision on the career progression of primary school graduate teachers in the state from grade level 14 to grade level 17. Sabah. Speaking shortly after the meeting, approval for the elevation of primary school teachers to grade level 17 was a major boost to the teaching profession at the state's basic education sector. She noted that the decision would encourage more qualified professionals to seek employment in public primary schools, as teachers would no longer see their career progression ending at grade level 14. And in agriculture, no fewer than 5,040 registered smallholder farmers in Delta State have benefited from the distribution of 20,160 bags of free fertilizer, as the government continues moves to strengthen food security and increase agricultural productivity. The empowerment took place when the federal government, in collaboration with the Delta State government, flagged off the National Agricultural Development Fund and South-South Farm Input Support Program held in Ibusa, Oshimili North local government area of the state. Speaking at the flag-off ceremony, coordinator of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Karim Abdulaziz, said the intervention reflects President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment to achieving national food security under the Renewed Hope agenda. He said the program was designed to bridge the input gap facing farmers, reduce production costs, boost crop yields, and improve the economic well-being of rural communities. Moving on now, reactions have continued to trail the alleged operation of a purported fake government agency, the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, allegedly linked to Prince Adeyemi, following President Bola Tinubu's directive to its findings within 30 days. Success Benjamin has the report.
Despite the ongoing court proceedings, President Bola Tinubu in July 2026 directed the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) to conduct a comprehensive investigation into the matter and submit its findings within 30 days.
I mean, you go to America, for example, it is a given that they negotiate lobbying. It is in the law that this is the markup for lobbying. People pay for that. People raise money through lobbying. So they legislated it and made it into law. So is this about corruption, or is it about a situation where we have created a political system that enables these kinds of practices? If we have created a political system that enables these kind of practices, we're just going to keep seeing more of it. So this calls to attention of the fact that it is time Nigeria begins to be honest with themselves. What kind of system and politics are we running? Is it one that empowers the budget in a manner that they are used effectively for the purposes designed? Or are the budgets a means for somebody's pecuniary interest where they use that as a means to siphon money from the treasury, from our own collective wealth?
For many Nigerians, the concern extends beyond the alleged activities of one individual. They are questioning how such an organization reportedly operated, engaged with public institutions, and allegedly gained recognition before its legitimacy came under scrutiny.
You can't say something is fake when it's in the presence of a reputable organization. You can't get a space in the secretariat without passing through various processes. You understand? So I think there's something fishy in the system, and I think there's something missing within the authorities. And it's very uncalled for us to come publicly and say something is fake and it has an account with the CBN.
Everyone involved should be persecuted so that the country can actually get better. Because I believe that if they can actually persecute those that is, involved, and next time other people will learn from it and not to do the same thing. So that is my own opinion now.
As the facts surrounding the alleged fake agency, but also recommend measures to strengthen transparency, accountability, and due diligence across public institutions.
It's a good thing that this reared its head. It is a pointer to the fact that this is not the first time special purpose vehicles are used for purposes like this. I mean, the House of Assembly, the National Assembly that is, has come out to say that they've identified the fact that there are other special purpose vehicles where it's a means through which funding negotiated for. Some may call it siphoning, some may call it laundering, some may call it budget padding and all of that.
From the whistle blown in October 2025, with the clock ticking on the 30-day deadline on the ICPC's investigation, Nigerians will be watching closely, not just for answers, but for accountability. Whether this probe restores public confidence or raises more questions remains to be seen. Success Benjamin, reporting for Dott TV.
And now to politics. The Nigeria Democratic Congress NDC governorship candidate for Delta State, Chris Iyowaye, has expressed confidence that the 2027 general elections will usher in a new era of leadership in Nigeria.
Iyowaye, speaking on his emergence as the party's flag bearer for the 2027 governorship election at a Thanksgiving in Efuru, Delta State, said Nigerians are yearning for responsible governance founded on accountability, justice, and service. He lamented what he described as a poor state of critical sectors in Delta State despite the enormous resources available to the government.
We have for far too long we have seen impunity across our nation, and particularly in Delta State. We have been told time and time again that there's money. There's money. There's money and our children are still sitting on the ground to learn. There is money and there is no medication in our hospital. Deltas continue to die daily for lack of medication. Our farmers can no longer go to farm. They are killing our people on a daily basis. And there's no intentionality to solve the problem. Is that not wickedness? Is that not wickedness? I want somebody to answer me. Wickedness from the people there.
The event attracted prominent political figures, including the NDC presidential candidate Peter Obi, the party national chairman Cleopas Moses, and the party's Delta Central senatorial candidate and the former deputy president of the Senate, Ovie Omoagege.
So that you will understand the problems of the time, so that you will understand the challenges of the people that you intend to come. You cannot ask to contend for governorship in a Niger Delta state if you are also not a lion. We felt that the next election will be a referendum. Referendum on character, referendum on qualification, and referendum on capacity. We believe then and we believe today that putting Dickie Chris forward as our candidate, the contrast is very, very clear. We know him. He's very well educated. We know his classmates. We know his schoolmates. In fact, he went to the University of Benin.
Priscilla Ifani, Dott TV News.
In the meantime, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has confirmed that it has petitioned the National Judicial Council, NJC, against Justice Peter Lifo of the Federal High Court, Abuja, over his handling of the suit in which he ordered the registration of the party and 4 others. ADC National Legal Advisor and former Edo State Governor Osehimeng Osumbo disclosed this during a television interview, describing the judge's conduct as a serious breach of judicial hierarchy. The lawyer accused, while the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria on Tuesday delivered a blunt assessment of the nation's political and security climate to President Bola Tinubu, warning that Nigeria is steadily drifting towards a one-party state with democratic institutions, public confidence, and national unity increasingly under strain. The warning was delivered by the newly elected president of the CBCN, Matthew Man-Oso Ndagoso, who led a delegation of Catholic bishops to the presidential villa, Abuja, where they held talks with the president on the state of the nation. Speaking on behalf of the bishops, Ndagoso said growing concerns over the shrinking political space and the weakening of opposition parties have fueled widespread fears that Nigeria's hard-won democracy is being eroded. While in Osun State, the State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of the Secretary to the State Government, SSG Teslim Ibalaye, and 5 other individuals following an operation carried out at a property associated with a government official in Osogbo. According to the police, the operation was launched after intelligence reports indicated that suspected members of a criminal gang were hiding within the Oroki estate area of the state capital. In a statement issued by the police public relations officer Abiodun Ojelabi, the command said one of Ashipa, a suspect who had been on the police watch list over alleged involvement in serious crimes including murder. Ojelabi said officers recovered several items from the premises, including over 4 million naira in cash, a Dynabook laptop, a photocopy machine, a printer, 2 voter cards, and a voter registrar covering wards 1 to 15. You're still watching Midday News on Dott TV. Still ahead, Anambra hostel collapse survivor narrates how she jumped from 2nd floor as the building sank into the ground. Plus, foreign and sports stories. That's after the break. Please stay with us.
Of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News Hour, your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
The Delta State government invites business leaders, global investors, policymakers, and industry captains to the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit 2026, themed Harnessing Our Strengths and Unlocking Our Potentials. Chief guest of honor, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON. Keynote speaker, Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, GCON. Guest speaker, renowned scholar, Professor Patrick Lumumba. Chairman of the occasion, Engineer Austin Avuru. Other distinguished local and international participants will also be in attendance. Date, August 3 to 5, 2026. Time, 10 a.m. daily. Venue, Dome Event Center, Asaba. Chief host, His Excellency, Right Honorable Sheriff Obrewori, Governor, Delta State. Announcer, Dr. Kingsley Emu, Secretary to Delta State Government and Chairman Planning.
Hello, my name is Sheriff Obrewori, the Governor of Delta State. I have the pleasure to invite you to Delta State Economic and Investment Summit 2026, taking place in Asaba from August 3rd to 5th, 2026. Over 40 prospective investors from Brazil and China, policymakers, business leaders, and international development partners are expected at this summit. It is an opportunity to connect your business ideas with capital, foster strategic partnerships, and take your business to a new level of growth and expansion. This government believes strongly in the economic development model that is led by the private sector. Hence, we have put in place investor-friendly policies that encourage private investors, support business growth, and foster massive industrialization of our state. With Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, GCON, as keynote speaker, and Professor Patrick Lumumba as guest speaker, the summit promises to be an exciting and rewarding time for all participants. So, join us and be part of shaping the next chapter of Delta State's economic.
Ready to be part of one of Africa's most exciting investment gatherings? Here's how to secure your spot for the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit 2026.
First, visit investdelta.ng and click Register Now. Next, fill in your details accurately, including your name, email address, phone number, organization, position, and industry.
Then, select the sector you're most interested in, from energy and the digital economy to agriculture, mining, tourism, transport infrastructure, and more. Also, choose the attendee category that best describes you.
Review your information carefully and submit your registration. Once it's approved, you receive a confirmation email. Be sure to save your confirmation as you need it for accreditation and entry into the summit.
Join investors, business leaders, innovators, policymakers, and development partners at the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit 2026, happening August 3rd to 5th at the Dome Event Center, Asaba. Visit investdelta.ng today and secure your place.
Delta is ready for business. Are you?
Thank you for staying with us. Now, here are the rest of our stories. A survivor of the collapsed three-story elite five-star lodge near the Federal Polytechnic, Oko, Anambra State, has recounted how she jumped from the second floor to escape death. Chinyere, who spoke from her hospital bed, said residents only realized the danger after loud cracking sounds echoed through the building on Sunday night. The hostel later collapsed, killing 2 people and injuring several others. Another survivor, Grace Nweke, said a food vendor had warned residents through a WhatsApp group about visible cracks shortly before the collapse. She alleged that although the building had reportedly been declared unsafe, it was still rented out to students. And to Benue now, where two bandits who unleashed terror on a Faye Oboju community, killing 13 people and leaving several others with different degrees of injuries on Tuesday morning, have been killed by operatives of the State Police Command. The two bandits, according to the command, were killed hours after the Commissioner of Police, Cletus Nwadiobo, launched a search to fish out the perpetrators and recovered an AK-47 rifle and 15 rounds of live ammunition. The two bandits were said to be part of the syndicate that unleashed terror on the agrarian community after rustling 20 cows at about 7 a.m., when the residents were just waking up to begin the day's activities. We'll now bring you foreign news. The number of people who have died after a powerful earthquake hit southwestern Japan has risen to 34. Rescuers are still working to find survivors after the magnitude 6.8 earthquake hit Kumamoto Prefecture on Kyushu shopping center collapsed and an explosion ripped through the mall about an hour later. Thousands of displaced residents are now staying in evacuation centers, though the challenge is to keep them cool and hydrated as the region battles sweltering heat. And 3 Greek firefighters have died tackling wildfires in Crete and in the Peloponnese. In Crete, gale force winds whipped up flames, prompting the evacuation of several villages, and 2 firefighters died after becoming trapped when the blaze swept through the Retino region in the island's west. Another firefighter died after being found unconscious near the southern Peloponnese port town of Gietio. And the U.S. military says it has completed a heavy wave of strikes against Iran in retaliation for Tuesday's attempted ballistic missile attack on American forces. CENTCOM said it hit dozens of Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps targets in response to Iran's firing on U.S. bases in Jordan and at ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian state media said the latest strikes had killed 3 people, including a 2-year-old child, on Qasem Island, while other locations were also hit in the south and west of the country. The latest hostilities come on a week that has seen the conflict expand, with the first publicly announced joint U.S.-Saudi strikes targeting Iranian proxies in Iraq. Up next is sports news. Here is Anthony Uche.
UEFA's 55 member associations will convene an emergency virtual meeting this week to address Gianni Infantino's controversial proposal to sell stakes in FIFA's major competitions to private investors. The plan involves creating a commercial subsidiary to manage flagship tournaments, including the Men's and Women's World Cups and the Club World Cup, aimed at generating what it says is additional global revenue. In response to the escalating dispute, European nations are actively discussing a potential boycott of the World Cup to block the initiative. The proposal has drawn fierce resistance from UEFA, which issued a rare statement criticizing the move before official release by FIFA. European football's governing body warned that the plans, quote, had crossed a line by risking excessive control and influence from private investors over the sport's most prestigious events. The latest dispute marks another chapter in the strained relationship between FIFA and UEFA, following previous disagreements over proposals to stage the World Cup every 2 years and other controversial decisions surrounding this summer's tournament. The UEFA president, Alexander Seferin, also boycotted the final of the just concluded FIFA World Cup 2026. Still on FIFA, the World Football Governing Body has launched formal disciplinary proceedings against Argentina following altercations after their 1-0 loss in the World Cup final to Spain at the New York, New Jersey Stadium, as well as multiple misconducts throughout the tournament. Following an ethics assessment, players Nahuel Molina and Leandro Paredes, alongside assistant coach Roberto Ayala, face assault charges under FIFA's disciplinary code, which carries a minimum of 3-match suspension. Molina and teammates Thiago Almada, as well as Spain's Gavi, are also accused of sportsman behavior, which carries at least a 1-match ban. Additionally, the Argentinian Football Association faces charges covering multiple matches for security breaches, discriminatory chants, spectators throwing objects, and political demonstrations. Notably, the investigation addresses the squad displaying a Las Malvinas son Argentinas banner regarding their Falkland Islands following the semi-final win over England, violating rules against using sporting events for non-sporting displays. Now to Formula One, where President Stefano Domenicali announced that the 2026 championship will conclude in Europe if ongoing Middle East conflicts forces the cancellation of season-closing races in Qatar and Abu Dhabi. A final decision is set for mid-September, with Italy's Imola circuit emerging as the frontrunner to host the alternative finale, following the planned Las Vegas Grand Prix on November the 21st. The security crisis stemming from the US-Israel war with Iran already caused the cancellation of April's Bahrain and Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. To help meet commercial contractual obligations, Malaysia was added to the calendar for September, but Formula One management remains committed to securing a proper final race to wrap up the season. Now to some transfer news, where Liverpool are actively pursuing Paris Saint-Germain winger Bradley Barcola to replace Mohamed Salah. The 23-year-old France international has agreed in principle to a move to Anfield, though Liverpool's proposed bid of around £100 million to £110 million remains below PSG's valuation of the player, which is at £145 million. Meanwhile, Real Madrid are linked to the €50 million move for Manchester City midfielder Rodri, who has 1 year left on his current contract. Elsewhere, Juventus have struck a deal to sign PSG striker Randal Colomwani on loan with an obligation to buy for up to €50 million. Inter Milan are also considering a move for Curtis Jones, while their expected free transfer signing of John Stones likely ends their pursuit of Tottenham's Christian Romero. In other moves, Fulham are nearing deals for Real Madrid duo of Cesar Palacios and Gonzalo Garcia. Brentford are targeting Lens midfielder Mamadou Sangare to replace Jordan Henderson, who has departed for Chelsea, and Hull City are in discussions to sign Leon Bailey from Aston Villa. Anthony Uche reporting for Dott TV News.
And that's it on the Midday News on Dott TV. At official.tv is our handle across social media. Follow us and subscribe to our channel. I am Ife Arono. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy your day.